If you lost your main source of income today, how long could you survive? A week, a month, a year? Now imagine having money flowing in, whether you work or not. That's the power of passive income. And today I'm going to show you how to make it a reality. What if I told you that there's a form of money that governments can't print, banks can't freeze, and inflation can't destroy? That's Bitcoin. And whether you understand it or not, it's already reshaping the future of wealth. Let's talk about why you can't afford to ignore this any longer. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's well. My name is Daniel Islam. I'm years young. 43 years young. I'm originally born and raised in the UK in a place called Sheffield, and I'm married with 9 children. Praise God. And previously, I was a mechanic. I had my own business for 4 years. I realized that having a family, I wanted to spend more time with them. I sold my business and I became a taxi driver. I was doing that for 6 long years. And in the end, companies like Uber and these types of different taxi firms made the game very saturated, and I found myself working 12 to 14 hours a day just to pay the bills. So in 2014, I started to read about different ways of making money, and I come across a concept called passive income, residual income. And that's the type of income that you get paid over and over again, whether you work or not, even in your sleep. In fact, Michael Jackson passed away many, many years ago, but every single year, his family makes over 100 million a year passive income from the work he did decades ago. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about an opportunity that gives you the ability to start making passive income like actors, like superstars, like singers, or even people that own properties and different assets. And you can start today and start earning with as quick as 4 to 10 days. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and you should be able to see what I see. And what I want to do, guys, is I want to go over what one of my mentors taught me back in the days when it comes to looking at a business. Okay. Whenever you want to look at a business, we call it the 4 Ps. Okay. The 4 Ps. And you can write this down. The first P is who are the people behind the business. Okay. People behind the business. So the project I'm going to show you today, we have 4 founders, and you can go and find this out on miningrid.com, and you will see about the founders. We have Sheikh Saeed bin Hasha Al Maktoum. He's the chairman, and he's one of the Maktoum family in Dubai, which, as you probably know, is the ruling family of Dubai. Then we have Salman Al Rifai. He was someone who works for the UN and is also an investment banker by profession. Then we have Rami Al-Siradi. He's someone who was a high-level technician and coder, worked at companies such as Dell Computers. And then we have Ali Saeed Abu Zinjal, who's a robotics and cybersecurity engineer, and specializes and speaks even on TV about his experience and skills that he has. So these are the people behind our project that I'm going to show you today. The next P that I'm going to talk about is the product. So what is the product of the business? Well, I want to go over to a website called CoinMarketCap, which basically shows you all of the cryptocurrencies in the world. And you can see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different cryptocurrencies that have come onto the market. And you can see right at the top is number one, which is Bitcoin. And this is the product that we are interested in and working with. So what about Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin, as you know, or as you might know, started in 2009. And since then, 1.6 trillion has been invested into Bitcoin. In fact, just in the last 24 hours, 15 billion has gone into the transactions of Bitcoin, okay? So we're not talking about a small asset class here. We're talking about something that is massive. Now, why are we very excited about Bitcoin? Because right now there's 19.85 million Bitcoin in circulation. That's how much there is out there in the market. But Bitcoin is limited to only ever be 21 million Bitcoin that's going to be in the marketplace. And what does that mean? That means that this is like digital gold. It's limited. And as more and more people want to have it or use it, the price has to go up because it's all about supply and demand. If the demand is high, but the supply is limited, this is when you have an increase in price. And in fact, since Bitcoin started in 2009, it's on average increased by 100 to 200% a year. Okay. Now, I want to show you something which takes it even to a bigger scale. You can go to a website called companiesmarketcap.com, and this shows you all of the biggest companies and assets in the world on a ranking system. So you can see number one is gold. 20 trillion has been traded in the industry of gold. Then you have number two, the biggest company in the world, Apple. Then after that, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, silver. And these companies have been around for decades and decades. Then you have Bitcoin, number 8. Just in a very short time since 2008, it's already reached that rank number 8. And just to put that into perspective, you've got Tesla, number 15. You've got Visa, number 18. MasterCard, 22. Netflix, 26. You've got Coca-Cola, 37. And the list can go on and on of massively recognized companies that you can see on this list. You know, IBM, number 58, McDonald's, 64. And everyone knows how big McDonald's is. It's literally on every street corner around the world. So Bitcoin is here to stay. It's massive, number 8 on the world's biggest asset classes of the world. Now, there's something that happened just last year, which is very, very exciting. It's never happened before. You see, until last year, January, only people like me and you and people with money that could get into Bitcoin. But the governments, the financial institutions, the hedge funds and the banks, they weren't able to get into Bitcoin because it wasn't regulated until last year, January. So January the 10th, 2024, the biggest financial regulator in the world, the SEC, you know, Securities and Exchange Commission, they approved a Bitcoin ETF that's now allowed governments, financial institutions, banks, and hedge funds to all jump in to Bitcoin. And this, like I said in the beginning, Bitcoin's limited, but when you have the big players now jumping into Bitcoin, buying hundreds of millions of Bitcoin value just in one day, the price has to go up. In fact, you know, I'll leave it to the end about the potential, which is the last P that I will talk about. But so I've talked about the people, I've talked about the product, which is Bitcoin. Now let me talk about the process, which is the third P. So the process, I want to go to a presentation, and this will allow me to show you what this is all about. So we have a product which is called MiningRace, okay? And this is an application that you can find on the App Store or Google Play. And I call it a disruptive application. The reason why I say that is because the industry of Bitcoin mining, which is what we're involved in, has been around since 2009. So as, you know, taxis, Deliveroo, you know, accommodation, all these different industries have been around. But when Uber came around, when Airbnb, Booking.com, Just Eat, Deliveroo, they disrupted an industry, and those companies are worth billions now today. So this is an application that has disrupted the industry of Bitcoin mining. Why? People like me, I've been involved in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency, you know, for over 7 years. And I never found it easy to get into Bitcoin mining. Why? Because you had to know what machines to buy, how to connect it to the blockchain, what is even the blockchain, how to connect it to farms, hosting, making sure your security is right. It was a lot of headaches. I never got involved in it, but I knew that's where the money was. So this application makes it very, very simple for any average person to start making passive income on a daily basis through the industry of Bitcoin mining. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. You want to do your own due diligence. You want to take this as a business. A business needs its own research and, caution. So make sure you do your own due diligence. Now, I've already talked about why Bitcoin. It's the limited supply, world's first cryptocurrency. It's never been changed, hacked, compromised since it started in 2009. I've talked about the founders, and you don't need to take my word for it, guys. You can go online on, Professor Google or Sheikh Google, and you can research about MiningRace. They've got over 300 plus publications about the recognition sustainability, longevity, the credibility of this company and the product. In fact, we was actually recognized as the leading tech startup by, in the UAE by Dubai Chambers of Commerce. And every country around the world has a Chambers of Commerce. We got that recognition as the leading tech startup. 10,000 human days of blockchain experience has gone in to developing this app, so we can just use it on a very simple basis. It's a one-of-a-kind platform. It's the world's first ecosystem and community of mining Bitcoin together. Now, what is the difference between buying Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin? Well, very, very simple. Just like if you want to exchange your pounds, your euros, your dollars for another country's currency, as you do when you go on holiday, you just go to a currency exchange and you just change your money for the country's different currency. And the same way, if you want to buy Bitcoin, you can exchange your pounds, euros, or dollars, or whatever currency you have, and go on a crypto exchange and change it for Bitcoin. So you can just buy Bitcoin from an exchange. Now, when you do that, on average, you pay a 4% premium. So you're already 4% down in value. So you need to wait for the Bitcoin price to go up before you're actually at break even for the price you pay for it. And then because of the volatility of the market, all assets, all companies, markets, they go up and they go down and they go up and they go down. The volatility of the market, even if Bitcoin price was to go down 1%, it means that you're in a 1% temporary loss. So it's very risky, it's very volatile, and most people, they panic and buy high and sell low. But the 1% club, they're involved in mining Bitcoin. And just to give you simple terms what mining Bitcoin is, it's basically providing a transaction process for people sending and receiving Bitcoin. So just like when people mine for gold, they use shovels and spades. We don't use shovels and spades to mine Bitcoin. We use powerful computers, and they verify the transactions that people are sending around the world, from one country to one person to another person. And mining Bitcoin verifies that process and gets reward and paid in Bitcoin for doing that, or for being part of that network. So when you mine Bitcoin, it's very, very low risk. Why? Because on average, we make around 6% a month, 18% in 90 days. So it means that even if Bitcoin price was to go down by 18%, we're still at break-even point. We're not in a risk of a loss. So it's a lot less risky and a lot more profitable. And you might think to yourself, 6% a month is not very big, but just compare that to stocks and real estate, that those industries make around 10 to 15% on average a year. And we're talking about 6% or 18% in 90 days or 3 months. So this is a great way to start to build wealth. Now, this is a one-stop shop application. It's got full transparency, full security. In fact, we have something called a non-custodial wallet. And what that basically means is that when you've got money in the bank has custody of your money. It means that if you want to send money to somewhere or to someone and the bank doesn't like it, they can put a block on your transaction, and you have to phone the bank up, go to see the manager, pass a quiz or a test and verify who you're sending it to. And they have the choice whether to say, you know what, we allow you to send that money there or not. And it's happened to many people where they're not even allowed to send their money to who they want to. Okay? That's because the bank has custody of your money. Whereas here, one of the biggest benefits of crypto, and especially non-custodial wallets, is that you have your control of your funds. If you wanted to send $1 million anywhere in the world right now, you can do that within seconds with a non-custodial wallet. And in fact, no one can stop you, and no one even knows that you're doing it. And that's the power of a non-custodial wallet. You have the control of your funds and assets in your powers. Now, this industry is a revenue industry of 50 billion since it started, and over 10 billion has been paid out to miners just like me and you in profitability. Now, what this application does is it's made a very simple or a very complicated industry very simple for anybody to get involved. In fact, my 10-year-old can get involved. My grandma at 65 years old can get involved, because all that's required is that you just download an application, make an online purchase, and everything is set up for you. You don't have to be technically minded. You don't have to have all the experience. This is why this is a disruptive application, because it allows anybody to start making passive income on a daily basis. Now, there's two ways that you can mine Bitcoin. Number one is you can buy the full machines that do the mining for you, and these machines start around $5,000-$6,000. And it takes a bit of time for the machines to make enough money to pay for the cost of the machine and then start making you profit. But what I believe is a little bit better when you first start is to test out the system, dip your toe in the water and test out the system. And we call this cloud mining, okay? We also call it, mining cards. And basically what this is that you are hiring or leasing the power of a machine. So basically it's a 90-day cycle. Whatever you invest in mining power through the mining cards, you will get back every single day a portion of Bitcoin. And in 90 days, approximately 90 days, you'll get back 118%. So that's like having your money back plus 18% on top in 90 days. So what this allows you to do is really get, confidence in the system. And if you like, you can go back in for another 90 days and make another 18%. So it's very easy to get involved in the program. You need a license to be able to use the platform, and you need then to buy mining power to start making that daily income. So these licenses start from $100, and these are yearly licenses. You just pay one time and it lasts you for the full year. $100, $300, and $1,000. And basically, the higher the license, the more mining power that you can purchase, which means the more money that you can make on a daily basis. And obviously, the person that's invited you on the call, depending on how much you want to invest, will determine on what license is best for you. To get started, very, very simple, guys. You download the application from the App Store, Google Play. You register, name, email, phone number, and country that you live in. You buy a license, you invest in mining power, and you can do that with Visa card, MasterCard, debit card, credit card, or various different cryptocurrencies. And that is it, guys. Everything else will be taken care of for you. And depending on if you've paid by bank or you've paid by crypto, you will be up and running and making money from as little as 4 to 10 days, okay? Completely passive, guys. Now, I know that definitely excites the right person on the call. You see, the wrong person on the call is someone who is happy with exchanging their time for money, working 8 to 12 hours a day for the next 40 years. You won't be happy at making passive income. But for the one that wants freedom in time, freedom in money, you are very happy that you can make an income even in your sleep. And you can make an income if you want to go on holiday, you're still earning. If you want to go and spend time with the family, you're still earning. So this is for those types of people that love and want to have freedom. So this is great, guys. For yourself, you're going to be making an average of 6% a month, 18% in 90 days. But that's not all. If you want to make more money, all you have to do is bring value to the company. And how do you do that? You help the company grow. And what the company does is it doesn't spend money on advertisements. It doesn't spend money on radio or marketing and things like that to draw more customers. It just relies on the word of the mouth of the customers, because we know if we are happy with the platform or not. And if you are happy, you're probably going to tell people. And if you do tell people, the company is going to reward you for that with various different commissions. And guess what, guys? You are already doing this referral marketing. You recommend movies, you recommend restaurants, barbershops, gyms, taxi firms, universities. You recommend things all the time, and you are building those businesses for those businesses, but you're not getting paid for it. Here, you actually can get paid for it just by helping other people to make money. So how does that work? Well, basically, any person that you recommend to this platform and they buy a license, you will make a 10% bonus, instant bonus. So if someone buys $100 license, you'll make, $10. If someone buys $1,000 license, you will make $100 instantly. So you can make money any time of the day, 24/7. Then from your recommendation, once someone's got a license, if they decide to buy a machine or mining cards, you will make 5%, okay, of that cost of those, devices or cards. And this is an instant bonus, again, paid to you. Okay. Now, the next thing we have is what we call a network bonus. And a network bonus works like this. Once you've recommended 2 or more people, you will have what we call a left and a right network, or we might call it a left and a right leg. Okay. And as your network starts to build and use more services and recommend others, your revenue of the sales is going to increase in the left and right. So what the company does is on a Monday morning, they look at how much sales you've got on your left, how much sales you've got on your right, whether that's from one person or a team of people, and the company will pay you 10% of the lesser amount of the left and right. So in this example, you can see there's $80,000 of sales on the left, $50,000 of sales on the right. And now you would get paid 10% of the 50,000 because that's the least amount of the two, which is a $5,000 bonus. Now, because you've been paid that, the 50,000 goes to zero because you've been paid on that side. 50,000 gets minus from 80,000, which leaves 30,000 for the following week. And now what you would do is you would just concentrate your efforts on building the side with zero, because that's the side that you're going to get paid on, which is the weaker side. Now that weaker side could become the stronger side. And it means then you would get paid on the 30,000 if that didn't grow. So this is something that once you start it, it will start to grow and pay you week by week, week by week. And in fact, we have individuals in our business that make over $20,000 a week from these types of bonuses. So it can go as little or as big as you wish. Now, just to give you an example of what volumes go towards these network bonuses, 100% of the cost of the license goes towards the left and right volume. 10% of the device cost goes towards the volume. So you can see here, device cost $5,200. 10% of that is $520. That would go towards your left and right volume. And then someone buys any stable cards, 10% of the cost will go towards the volume as well. So you can see here, someone spent $2,000 on the stable cards, and then $200, which is 10%, goes towards the network volume of your left and right that you get paid on a Monday. Then we have something very exciting, which is called the grid bonus. And I love the grid bonus. In fact, this is one of my favorite incomes. How it works is when you introduce somebody and they buy a license and they now invest in mining power, whether that is the least amount, which is $320, or someone spends $10,000, it doesn't really matter. They're going to make 118% in that 90-day cycle. But you, being the person that introduced them, are going to make 4% equivalent of that 118%. So let's just use very simple maths. Let's say you introduce somebody and they invested $10,000 in mining power. They're going to make 118%, which is 11,800. You will be entitled to make the equivalent of 4% of that 11,800. And that's coming to you, as many times as they renew that 90-day cycle. Now you can invite as many people as you want on level 1, which is called your grid level 1, where you get that 4% on everybody on that level. But now here's the magic. Let's say your referrals, they start to invite some of their friends or family, and that is classed as your grid level 2. And even though the person who invited them is entitled to 4%, you now pick up a 2% equivalent of everyone on level 2. And then same with level 3, you get equivalent of 1% of that 118%, and you can get paid all the way down to 20 levels. Okay, so this is something that really is an incredible, extra residual income coming into your wallets each and every week. Now, the last but not least is rank rewards. You see, people work for a living but die for recognition. And we like to recognize people's efforts as they're growing the network, helping the business and the company to grow. And it works like this. As you start to refer people and they buy a license and buy mining power, that's going to have a certain amount of revenue on your left and right. So the first position, star 600, once you've got a minimum of $600 worth of sales on your left and right network, you will be promoted to star 600, and now you can earn up to 4 levels on the grid bonus that I just talked about. So you can earn 4% on level 1, 2% on level 2, 1% on level 3, and 0.5% on level 4. If you want to earn past the 4th level, you need to go to the next position of star 2000. You just need $2,000 on your left and right in your teams, your 2 teams, your left and right team. Now you are entitled to up to 6 levels on the grid bonus, and you also pick up $100 thank you reward. Team coordinator, you make up to 8 levels and you get a $300 reward. Team leader, up to 10 levels and a $1,000 reward. Regional director, up to 12 levels and $3,000 reward. And you can go on and on, all the way up to icon position, where in one single day you can make a bonus of $300,000, and you will be making the full 20 levels on the grid bonus as well. Just to give you my personal experience, I started in January last year, 2024, and for the first 3-4 months, I was just testing the system out as a customer, seeing how much I would make for my personal self. And, once I saw that this was really a great thing, I started to recommend it to some friends and family. And, even though my friends and family, cursed me for that, and they said, why didn't you tell me when you first started? I said, look, I just wanted to, make sure that it was giving me the profits. And I've been able to move up the plan step by step, with help of people in my team. And I've got to the position of VP, vice president in just that short time. Now, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of work involved. But the truth is, I was a taxi driver and I was able to go up the plan as fast as I wanted to. And you can too. There's no one going to be able to hold you back. You will go up the plan as fast or as slow as you desire. It's really up to your efforts and desires. Now, that being said, guys, I've shown you a plan how you can make passive income from yourself from a simple application on the App Store. You can make around 6% a month, 18% every 90 days. And if you choose to, completely optional, you can share this with other people and not only help them make money, but also help yourself to increase your current income streams as well. So guys, this project is called Mining Race. Go back to the person that invited you on the call, ask them any questions, ask them for clarification. You will not do this by yourself, guys. We have a community of over 22,000 members across 100 countries around the world. And we have WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups. We will hold your hand step by step for helping you to get set up, helping you to, get the right things, tailored for yourself and your situation. And you will start earning passive income as little as 4 days, depending on how you pay, bank or crypto. And you will be joined into the community where like-minded individuals are on a journey to become financially free. With that, guys, go back to the person that invited you, tell them how incredible you found it, ask any questions, and don't delay. Because look, guys, procrastination is one of the main killers of people's dreams and goals being achieved. You see, people in the graveyard is full of dreams unrealized because they procrastinated on taking the first step. And I know that some people will be scared, some people will be fearful, and they will feel doubts and whatever. The biggest destroyer of doubts, taking action. Whether that's asking questions, whether that's getting started, whether that's getting more information, just take action, because this could be one of the biggest opportunities that you ever let go pass. And I want to finish with this, guys, which is the 4th P. I talked about the P for the people behind the company. I talked about P for the product. I talked about P for the process, which I just went through. And let me finish with the potential. So don't take my word for it, guys. Go online and search up MicroStrategy BlackRock. These are 2 companies in the US that manage over 22 billion in asset investments and funds. And one of them said, I believe that Bitcoin will go to 13 million for 1 Bitcoin. The more conservative one, who was the CEO of BlackRock, says, I believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 700,000. Right now, guys, we're at $85,000. And this is an opportunity not only to build an income, but build generational wealth. With that being said, guys, my name is Daniel Islam. Thank you very much. Next week, Sunday, we will have a training to show you how to accelerate your results in this program. Tune in. Do not come alone. Bring 5 guests with you. Bring your team with you. Do not be on this journey alone, and help people grow together, because the team that communicates the best grows the best. And we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.